What's up, guys? I'm Dorian Martin, and welcome back to the Dorian Martin Show. And today we're going to be talking about should you quit your regular day job? Uh, the truth is, everyone's situation is a little bit different. So it's kind of weird. I know that, like, my situation being a filmmaker, I obviously need equity, I need money, I need financing to make it happen. Just like most people, like, we think, okay, we need money to we have to build a base for ourselves, and we have to have this like sense of security and all that and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, like, that's all true and everything like that, but sometimes, like, you do have to make like a major change. Like, some people, they do. uh it's something that Jim Carrey had said, actually, and he had quoted it, and hopefully I'll quote this right. He said, too afraid to quit your if you're too afraid to change the way that you live for a year to have a lifestyle that you want forever, you care too much about what other people think. And that's very true. I had to take a step back and really look at what it is that I would be walking away from when I made a career change, just so that I could be able to go more after acting and filmmaking. Well, originally acting, now filmmaking, because now I love the whole process of writing and creating films. I looked around my apartment. I was living by myself. I had this apartment that I was paying for, Wi-Fi, some pretty cool stuff, that kind of thing. And I added up all the money it was that I was making, that I stood to make in a year. I knew how much I made. Uh, I knew how much I paid. I knew my budgets was. And then I thought, with what it is that I'm trying to do, 20 years from now, I'm not going to still be trying to hold on to this flat screen, this couch, this sofa, this bed, and all this. And I don't want to look up and be 30 years old and I didn't give this acting career, this dream that I've had, that I've always wanted to do, everything it is that I had, all because I was worried that I would lose a few things that I had either thrifted or bought off of Amazon. It wasn't worth it, and it wasn't worth the time. I just turned 30 a few days ago, and I've made 6 films, award-winning films, official selections to some festivals, pretty big ones, prominent ones, and others, smaller festivals, all the same. Huge accomplishments for myself. I've become an actor. I've become a filmmaker. I've become much more than that. I've become a filmmaker, and I've helped develop portfolios for so many other people in talent and help them develop their reels. I've helped give other people opportunities to act and chase after their dreams as well, just by being there and doing my thing, chasing after my dream and doing what it is that was in my heart. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes you do have to make a change. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. It won't be that bad, but I understand completely what people are saying. Yeah, you need a base. That does make sense. But you can't be afraid to move. If there's something like that first step, it's going to be uncomfortable. You won't be comfortable doing it. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be very nerve wracking. I remember when I was first auditioning people. I had actually, once I had shot Bear, I had auditioned people I never met before. It was for a feature film called Intruder. And I remember the feeling I got just watching these people. I had anyone who has used Backstage knows exactly what I'm Backstage or Actors Access. I think I use Actors Access. Knows that there's a lot of BSers on there who would try to initially waste your time. I know, like, a lot of you guys will get like a no or something like that, but it gets a little bit annoying when you post something and you're in Central Ohio and you've got people in Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, and there's 200 people going, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I want to submit to this film," and it says local casting, locally only, and you guys just are so desperate for a yes somewhere because you see that this low budget film that's a non-paying gig might give you a yes so that you can feel good inside. I mean, like, you guys are literally flooding these independent filmmakers their castings just to waste their time. Anyways, that was me going off on a little bit of a tangent. It's kind of annoying because after a while, I mean, that's happened with every film that I've posted on either Actors Access or Backstage. It'll be 100 different people putting in, and like 20 of them will be serious. And then from there, and that's for each role. And then from there, you got to narrow it down even more. But anyways, I remember when I was first casting and I saw people reading my scripts for the first time, reading portions of something that I had read because they were serious about wanting to be an actor or actress, and just it gave me chills. It gave me chills to do that, and it was very uncomfortable. It was exciting. I was uncomfortable at the same time, and I was very, very, very nervous. I wanted to look like I knew what I was doing. I wanted everything in my mind to come together that I felt like should be there for the piece to be inside of me to make it happen the way that I thought that it should happen. And that's just not the way that it works. It's not going to happen the way that you think that it's supposed to happen. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. You know, when I was in law enforcement at the first department I had worked for, I had worked with this officer. His name is John. And I remember something he had said to me. He said, you know, sometimes you just got to cowboy up and do it. You know, like you're not always going to have somebody there with you. And it was just in the midst of us just sitting there shooting the shit, talking to each other. And funny enough, I was actually in a situation like, I think that night where I had to cowboy up and do something I really did not want to do by myself. I got called to what is to this date the sketchiest call I think I was ever called to on a well-being check to a house in the middle of this wooded area with no lights. And I mean, like, hold your hand in front of your face. You couldn't see your hand. You know, so like I knew I was going to get hit. Thankfully, nothing happened. But like in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to take a hit first. And after that, it's on. But anyways, sometimes you just got to cowboy up in life with stuff and just, you just got to go for it. So some people, yeah, like some people's situations are different than others. Like sometimes you can't leave your place of blessing. You got to stay exactly where you're at because you're being sustained and fulfilled in the ways that you're supposed to be where you're at right now. And it might not be where you want to be, but leaving or moving, if you don't have any peace with the move and it's more so just you just trying to rush into something that you've seen someone else do because you see it on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now, or Facebook, and they've made some fancy reel on this is how their life transformed, and now you want to hurry up and you want to try to do the same thing. It's gonna blow up in your face every single time because every single last person's life is different. Like everyone's path is different. I mean, some stuff might work for you. It's great that people have a story and that they're inspiring you. That's what we're supposed to do for each other. But you know, like you're going to have your story that's going to inspire somebody, you know? So it's just, you definitely got to wait. You're going to know the right moment, but knowing the right moment doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be, knowing the right thing to do doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be the thing that you want to do. Like, sometimes the best thing you can do is wait. I know, like me, I was at the point where I was like, man, this is Ohio. Ain't nothing out here. I'm going to have to go to New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, or Atlanta or something to try to make this thing happen. And I mean, I just wasn't in that kind of position, you know, with family and my job and stuff like that, where I could do that. So I had to make it work the best way that I could from where I was. And then there's other people who they can do that. I mean, like Lily Reinhart, she's from the Cleveland area, and she left and went out to Los Angeles. I believe I had read somewhere she went to Los Angeles and she was out there for a few months, almost quit, and things just took off for her. You know, so like it just depends. Everybody's path is different. I hear a lot of success stories from people who, it seems like I hear a lot of success stories from people who go out there which I have no idea how that's happening because like it just seems like it's a jungle. Like you just go out there and then what? Like what are these people doing when they go out to Los Angeles or New York? It's just this vast city with I'm sure yes there's a lot of talent and auditions and things like that, but like where exactly are they going that I can't find online and prepare myself for like I don't know a little 2 day weekend trip to try to make it happen, you know, on like a vacation day or something. Cause like that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like people saying, oh yeah, you know, you're going to have to move there. Why? We have the internet. Like the internet exists. Like everybody has a smartphone. Like don't they post stuff online? Like isn't that what people doing now? I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a big part of it that I'm missing because I do hear like a lot of people saying that that's what they're doing, and it just almost seems like the Cinderella story days of going out to Los Angeles and hoping to be discovered like Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie or Terry Crews on the set of Training Day, the King Kong scene, which was actually his very first acting experience. He was standing there watching he was actually standing and watching the filming going on because he was doing security out in California. And one of the, I guess was like a producer or something like that, came to one of the clubs or whatever it is that he was working security and said, hey, you know, you want to be on set for this movie that we're going to be doing. And he was there and the director saw him and saw what he looked like. I mean, anybody who's seen Terry Crews knows exactly what I'm, you know, where I'm going with this. He goes, yeah, how would you like to be in the film? Like, that's crazy. Like, King Kong ain't got shit on me. That's his first scene that he's ever in. One of the most iconic scenes in Hollywood ever. It was his first acting experience. Like, and it was because someone saw him. So it's just a little bit, I just assume that those days like that were done for people in the acting industry because everything seems like it almost like revolves around money. You know, people want you to pay for headshots. They want you to pay for, there's companies who they'll develop an acting role for you. You know, just everything just, you gotta, everything's just an extra cost of some kind. And it just, I don't know, it just seemed like those days are over, but I guess not because there's still people that I guess are going out there and having some kind of success every now and again. But for the most part, get packing up and quitting my job and going out to Los Angeles or New York is probably not something that is going to happen. I would never even want to live in Los Angeles. It just looks terrible. It looks absolutely awful. New York, maybe. Okay. Like, probably New York. It looked like, you know, there'd be ways to keep your sanity, like, or stay entertained in New York. But, like, California, it looks like you might go out there and anything might happen to you. And I've heard some pretty bad horror stories. Like, people, like, go out there and you can't even drive. They got, like, 11-lane highways and all kinds of just different nonsense. But I'm going off on a tangent. What was my point I was making? Yes. Sometimes you just gotta stay where you're at, and then there's other people who they're in a position where they can get up, they can go, and they can make it happen. And that's just you really just gotta kind of follow your heart. I get up and I go to my day job, and I like it. It's a blessing where I'm at. I love what it is that I've been blessed with to do in my life, what God has given me, and I like that I'm able to make these films and chase after this dream. And I hit 30 a few days ago, and I couldn't be any happier with the decisions that I've made. About 4 or 5 years ago, when I was sitting in my cruiser, I thought to myself, this is stupid. You know, like, I'm going to look up and be 30 years old and still be trying to get myself to this point of sustenance or security and buy a house, have this X amount of dollars in savings, this amount of money so that I can take this amount of days off. And I'm not even going to have moved an inch in my acting career. And I wasn't happy doing it like that. And I took some steps back and I just started dedicating all that more of that time into acting. And now I've produced, my own film. So anyone who has like something out there that they want to do, I would definitely say make some changes in your life start making changes in your life. It's going to be uncomfortable. to start moving in the direction to what it is that you want to have. But that also doesn't necessarily mean that you have to drop everything and leave where it is that you are. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Kind of giving you guys two different answers here. Basically, get after it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy though. Like things like, just think about that. Like Terry Crews was just standing there and someone saw him and said, yeah, that guy right there. Yeah. Take your shirt off. Let's see what you look like. He had on his tank top. Like that's what he wore that day. Like what you see him wearing on set, that's what he wore that day. And that was the very first scene of any kind that he had been in. To me, that's nuts. So it can happen, you know, like it's going to happen for you guys in life, and anything in life can happen for you just as long as you put your mind to it. But that's my take on today's segment in why you shouldn't quit your day job, why you should probably quit your day job, and you're just going to know what the right answer is. If you guys like today's show, go ahead and if you guys like today's show, click the subscribe button, drop a comment, let me know anything you guys want to hear, and we'll see you next time.